It's doing it right now, and here we go. Hey guys, what's going on? What's going on, guys? It's Steeler here, back again with RDX Podcast, the usual suspects, the weekly podcast where we cover everything gaming related. This week, especially Xbox One X launch hype. Everybody's pretty hyped up, and I want to introduce everybody before we get too far along. Of course, in case you forgot who All Day is, he's here. What's going on, All Day? How you been?
Hey, what's going on, people? It's good to be back. Let's get the show started.
Oh my God, I can't do this tonight.
Colt's microwave. Colt, are you back? What have you been up to, bro?
Just hanging out, waiting for my Scorpio edition.
We're going to get into some of that. A lot of people having problems with Amazon, and it's not great. Luca,
I'm in the parking lot right now.
Yeah, he's in the parking lot with the torch right now. Luca, how you been? What have you been up to?
Hey man, I have been fantastic. Oh my God, we're getting closer and closer to the X release. Some people have already gotten it. Like, it's awesome. The community is full of so much energy, and we're all so positive and just like really just happy. Like, the community's just happy, and it's really nice to see because, you know, we deal with a lot of BS, and you know, it's nice to just not be fighting with each other for once.
Yeah, speaking of BS, we've already got 5 dislikes for no reason. So thanks for that, fuckfaces. The rest of you, thanks for joining. Almost got 300 live already. Hit that like button. We appreciate it. I do want to do a quick Patreon giveaway real quick, give out some games for some people. So we got, because, of course, I got to support those who support me. Lex Hazard. You've won a copy of Friday the 13th, and I'm actually a little bit late here on the giveaways, so I'm giving away an extra game because I'm just fucking awesome. So we've got the Dragon Emperor. That's a pretty odd way to spell it, but he wanted a copy of Halo Wars 2, so you get that, buddy. We're going to have some better games next month. If you're not a patron, consider becoming one. It's in the description. Check it out. I wanted to talk about some launch issues, some launch hype real quick before we get into the massive topics. Feel free to chime in the chat as well. All Day, tell us about your scenario, what happened, why you're in front of Amazon right now with a torch.
Hold this clip real quick. Oh, my bad. Are you talking to me? All right. So what happened? I mean, dude, you know when you have that intuition, that gut feeling that something just not right, and you know, all through the week, my first email was October 26th, and it said, your shipment has been upgraded. You will receive your item on November 7th, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, cool. I let a couple of days pass, and then I see something that says, I'll get my package on the 9th. So I'm like, what? Wait a minute. So I talked to like 5 different managers. I cussed out 3 of the 5. One lady said they would charge me on the 6th, and I would get it on the 7th. And that sounded kind of fishy, so I called back the next day, and I was like, because there's no way that wherever it's coming from, I'm pretty sure it's not California. So, I didn't think I would get it in one day. So I called back, and she said that the last supervisor I talked to, they offered me $7 in Amazon credit. I said, nope, fuck yourself with that. I'm not accepting that. You guys, you need to learn how to do your job. What kind of people do you have, like mice with headphones on? Like, what's going on? And then, so I got mad, and then I called. She's transferred me over to another supervisor. Said that they would give me $20 in Amazon credit. Now, this $20 credit goes towards any Amazon. It goes to any type of things you purchase or shipping. It takes.
There can only be one. Shut up. We've heard enough of you already.
Jesus. What's up, Mega?
Hey, that was pretty unorthodox there, man.
Who's that? Anti-gamer? Hold on one second. So basically, anyway, so yeah, I talked to one final supervisor before I talked to dealer, and she had an end result of saying, I guess most of the Xboxes they were backed up. She apologizes, and, it's supposed to be here on the 7th, and it's not. So just fuck Amazon, cancel my Prime membership, and I'm done with that fucking company.
So basically, long story short, you were supposed to get it on the 7th. You were looking forward to that. They said, nope, take this double-ended dildo and have a great time. And now you find out it's coming on Thursday, and that's just ridiculous. By the way, K-Mega dropped in. We're also waiting for Noof Nukem. Because we're going to have a slightly longer show today, guys. So a lot of you guys get wish today. So, Mega, what have you been up to, bro?
Man, just sitting here, just been busy, take care of a lot of things, man. I haven't even really been gaming for the last, 4 days. I know you've been spying. I know you've been spying, but man, I don't have to lie to kick it, man. I just tell the truth.
I know. I respect
thing.
it.
All right, frauds. Let's keep that shit cringe free. Let's get back into the topics.
Yeah, but no, I've just been taking care of business, and I've just went through the same. Well, not quite what all day went through, but I already paid for it Sunday, and what was it? It was Sunday, and they gave me a refund for like $25.99 and telling me that I'm gonna get it on the 9th now. So I'm like,
did you order from Amazon too, bro?
Yeah, I got it from Amazon too. So
wow,
I just got off the phone with them, just literally, and then I was over here and I seen that Major Nelson was doing some kind of get a free X11, damn, I can't talk.
Xbox
One X.
He said get a free Fricks.
Yeah, get a free Fricks. And then
right?
I was like, hell, I want a Fricks. But anyway, so so I was like, oh, and then I seen dealer hit me up, and I'm like, oh wow, so yeah, man, let me hop up in here. But yeah, no, I'll be getting.
I had some frustration senses going on, man. I figured you were nice and frustrated. You probably ordered from Amazon like a lot of other people, and myself. That's a lot of people gave me shit for going to GameStop, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to trust this to an online retailer. Just not happening. I'm going to go get it myself at midnight tonight. So I'm looking forward.
I mean, it's like a rough. It's a rough time when you when you could trust GameStop.
I know, right? Just so people know, Amazon apparently took too many pre-orders. That's why this is happening. And they've gotten a bunch of stuff mixed up. And people say, well, we don't know how many they sent out, probably 10. Well, I mean, apparently the thing's doing quite well because even Amazon's pre-orders overflowed. But they did have a few canceled at GameStop. So if you haven't checked tonight, call GameStop. They may have a few in because people do cancel last minute. They don't have the money or other reasons.
And if you do want to pick up one of those ones that got canceled, you got to be there like 4 hours prior to launch.
I mean, Amazon a half an hour ago, Amazon just put up more Scorpios to pre-order. So I don't know what's going on. I'm curious if Microsoft went back to this factory in Philippines or whatever and was like, come on, get to work. We're gonna make a bunch more of these.
Unload the truck, man. I'm coming. Shit.
They like this shit. We need more of it.
Yeah, I had that lady confirm to me and give me her name. Her name was, well, it could have been a fake name, but her name was Sandra, and she gave me her little account number. Yeah, it sounded, fake as hell, but she gave me her account. Well, not her account number, her number, and then I, the guarantee.
Kate Megan, you call me later, all right?
Yeah, I'm gonna call you a little bit later. And
listen, Black Overall man, I want you.
I want you, baby. Black Snake Moan, Oklahoma style. Anyway, no, man, I just was like, I just was wanting to make sure that I'm getting it because, like I said, I'm pretty jay that everybody's gonna get it. I've been waiting for it. I had like 2 days scheduled off. Now I got to readjust.
So what was your original delivery date?
The 7th. It was going to be 8 o'clock. It said by 8 o'clock today, tomorrow.
So I'm not getting mine till Friday because I could only get the Scorpio back in August when everybody pre-ordered. I got it at Walmart site to store. So what happens is on the 7th, they get it from the distributor and then they ship it to my Walmart in my city. So I'm going to pick mine up on Friday. But not only that, like a week ago, I got a message from my credit card company saying we didn't put your order through because we didn't know if it was secure or whatever. Like we didn't trust it. We didn't know if it was you. So like 2 in the morning, I get this email. And so I approve it and everything. They're like, well, the order may not go through. So it's been a mess. I had to call Walmart and tell them, yes, please charge the card. And they're like, oh, we can't charge the card. Something's not working. So I changed to a different card. I'm like, just freaking charge it. I got the money. Let's go. Let's get this Scorpio. And then,
I had the same thing happen, man. But it was it was something way less cool than an Xbox One X. It was a fucking Pizza Hut. I was like, why can't I order this pizza? And I called the card. They're like, suspicious activity. You ordered Pizza Hut. Like, I know Pizza Hut sucks, but damn, come on.
No, we looked at your credit history, dealer. You usually eat very, very healthy, and it wasn't in your character to order a pizza.
Yeah, so, that Equifax shit got some people on edge, So
yeah. So
I do want to give a shout out real quick before we get carried off too far to almost 600 people watching us live already. Hit that like button. We appreciate the support, guys. And, of course, try to share this fucking thing if you can. Let's grow the fucking podcast. Let's get this shit out there, and we do appreciate it. And there's too many people in the chat to reply to all of you, but thanks. Yes, thanks for joining.
You guys are great.
I hope you guys are going to have a good time tonight with the X1X, and hope it's everything you guys hope it is. So let's talk about Titanfall 2 real quick, because there's some stuff going around here, and I guess people can't hear, just like with the Gears of War 4 frame rate, people can't hear what Digital Foundry say in the very video they're using as their source for some fanboy bullshit. So Titanfall 2 is having issues on the X1X. The patch has been out for quite a while. It's one of the first patches to hit, but it's obvious that they did not optimize this. And Digital Foundry did say in that video that it does look like some kind of beta code, and it does need to be patched. Just know that the problems they found in Titanfall 2 in their video is not indicative of the hardware. If they were to put a little more time in that patch, which they obviously didn't, that's why it scales so high and so low, then the game will be quite a bit better than it is. So
you can hear, you can hear Digital Foundry in the video like scratching their heads. They're like, why in the world? Yeah, like why in the world is this running like this? There's no possible reason. And they say in the video, like you said, it's not the hardware's fault. This is on Respawn, which is, it's really crappy timing. Like as we're about to drop the hammer down on what has been claimed and what Digital Foundry said this could do.
Yep, it is. And it's important to note, too, that other games have been analyzed and poked at, and they're already substantially better than the Pro version. So there's no need for this game to run as high as 6K, which is absolutely absurd, and then scale as low as 1200p. That kind of dynamic resolution scaling is put there intentionally, and it's done so because they didn't optimize the game very well for that patch. So they must have put a couple hours in based off what other developers are saying, and they said, well, looks great. I doubt anybody's going to be able to tell the difference between this and that, and we'll see how it goes. But then Digital Foundry, of course, this is the first game they jump into, so kind of unfortunate. Any other thoughts here on this?
It's actually really embarrassing, to be perfectly honest. Like, all these other devs have been able to do amazing things, like 4K on Shadow of War, and it's just kind of like, really, Respawn? You couldn't have put in a little bit more extra effort? Because considering the fact that they've analyzed other games and it's come out that the X version is better, it's clear that this is a developer problem and not the problem with the hardware.
Right.
Like, I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know what they were thinking. It also makes their game look bad as well. So, I don't know.
It's like the first time I seen it on Twitter earlier. It's like these little fucking rats with a piece of drama. Oh, I got a piece of drama cheese. And, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, dude, clearly this is a problem on the dev side, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the first thing you want to do is, the Xbox One X didn't say what's supposed to do.
Hold this L.
Right, like, shut the fuck up.
Hey, remember that line, chat. Little rats on Twitter running around with a little piece. Like, I got a piece of drama cheese here. Little pieces of shit.
It's just fucking ridiculous, man. Just let the devs work, man. They'll fix out the kinks, man. Come on.
Well, if Digital Foundry didn't actually say that, I got it here. They did say it's reminiscent of some kind of early beta code. That's their words in that very same video that a lot of these fanboys running around with these fucking bullet point wars neglect to hear. So,
no, dealer. They heard it. They just neglect to acknowledge it. That's what it is. Because they just want to use whatever they can in this stupid console war. That's really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. It's like graphics don't matter.
Like, All Day calls them rats. I call them roaches, because they can just survive anything. So.
Yep. Sit in the corner. Fucking, I swear, man. So, like I said, the game actually, even though it's really unoptimized, you can tell that because it scales so high and so low in resolution. The game still has a better frame rate than on other platforms. So. That's still pretty crazy to me.
And then that game's 60 all the time, isn't it?
Pretty much, aside from the cutscenes, I think.
Yeah, they said the cutscenes were dropping.
And you should have saw the pro cutscene. So just know this, Sony guys, and I know you're watching, you fucking cockroaches.
Mr. Roboto. Yeah.
Just know this, that if a game ever performs worse, like when Surge was 1080p 30 mode or whatever it was, right? They were like, oh my God, the pro version runs at 1200p 30 or whatever. Well, we told you that was a developer thing. They did it for a reason, and a lot of these early patches are not going to have a lot of time into them. That developer from the Surge has since confirmed that 1080p mode is getting boosted up to 1800p or so,
which is so.
Yeah, you don't want to speak too soon on this kind of stuff. It's not the hardware. The X is better in every single way by a substantial margin, and we'll have to see what Respawn do. You think they'll patch it, Luca?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Luca, you made the best point because I didn't even think of that. They're making their game look bad. by not patching it properly. Yeah,
I mean,
so
they have to,
they'll
especially
come
with
to
the.
call.
I mean, they've had so much backlash. I can't believe that they would make a mistake like this. I'm like, are you stupid? Like, who's handling their stuff? I don't understand. Like, none of this makes any sense to me.
And I don't think this can ruin the game though, because it's still going to look great. So 1200p, as low as it goes, which is not where it's at commonly, is definitely much better than where it's at on the Xbox currently. So if you're still looking forward to it, it's still going to look absolutely great. Don't get me wrong. So
yeah.
Mega, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I was just saying that they was doing all the bragging about it could hit 6K, and then so that was, and they can't even patch their shit right. So it's
embarrassing.
Very interesting, especially when Digital Foundry just went there and said it's more indicative of the PC experience a few weeks ago. So, it's odd that this patch hits. But nonetheless, I did want to throw out there the fact that Halo 5 already has an Xbox One X patch as well. A lot of good stuff. Anybody kind of paid attention to the patches installing?
No.
Anything of note? You guys haven't really kept up with it. Chat, feel free to let us know what you've seen installed that you're actually very happy with. I can run through some of the stuff that I've seen. Assassin's Creed, Wolfenstein, Injustice 2, Wolfenstein 2, that is. Injustice 2, Evil Within's there. Apparently all the Bethesda stuff is going to be there.
The X enhanced category. Oh, yeah. No, I looked at that. I had 14, 16 games. Let me go and look right now.
I got like 27, 30 already before launch. So there's supposed to be 70 hitting in the first week or so.
Yeah, I'm looking right.
Which is great. Shadow War was there as well.
The list in total, like the list they announced at E3 or whatever, that's throughout the year, right? The end of the year, that's throughout next year too.
I don't know the time scale on a lot of those. I think Master Chief Collection was early 2018, which is just a month and a half, pretty much away from here almost. So
it'll
I don't
finally
know.
fixed.
Yeah.
They added some more games on mine. Shadow of War wasn't on there. It's on there now. That one game that you and All Day had me buy, asked me to buy, that the big rats, and we only played that shit once, and we ain't never played it again.
Hey, man,
I
knew that bitch just patch. Warhammer, End Times Vermintide. That was a 19 gigabyte patch, believe it or not, in that little game, man.
Really? And then Wolfenstein 2 is on there, and then it's one indie game, which I like a lot. It's called Thumper. It's on there. I'm surprised about that. Mafia 3, Halo Wars 2, my jam.
Mafia 3 is already there, though.
Yeah, Mafia 3 is already there.
That's cool.
Good shit.
Path of Exiles is on here. Need for Speed Payback, NBA Live 18, Madden, Killer Instinct, Halo 5, Final Fantasy 15, Forza 7, Gears, Halo 3. They even got it for Far Cry 5. I already bought that, so I already paid for that. So
that's interesting that they've already got that in the X Enhanced tab.
Diablo, Dead Rising 4, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to play, and that's before launch. Keep that in mind. Ark Survival Evolved is also there. If you're an Ark fan and you want to see what the X can really do, that's going to be a night and day difference right there.
And see, I didn't even see on the ready to install list. Yeah, I see Ark, Fallout 3, Paddlings, Smite, and War Stories. World of Tanks.
World of Tanks, yep.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff. Witcher 3 isn't there yet, though. So for those wondering that I've seen, Witcher 3 is not there. Call of Duty I have not seen. Destiny I haven't seen, but somebody told me they had Destiny, so I can't verify that. But nonetheless, a lot of stuff to play. Assassin's Creed alone is going to take up, a long time. So, Luke, I know you're excited as fuck for Assassin's Creed on the X.
Oh yes, absolutely. Actually, I can't wait. Like, it's going to be awesome. Like, I'm booting up Wolfenstein first, but Assassin's Creed's definitely going to be something that I will be playing when I get tired of killing Nazis.
Now, Nazis. There was something interesting I wanted to point out. Forza Horizon 3 got a patch today. It was under 200 meg, and it was not an X1 enhanced patch. So I'm not. That game is getting a patch for the X, but that particular patch did not add X enhancements. I thought it was a bit too small for that. But other games, I'll kind of give you an idea of what kind of patches you're going to be downloading, because many of you have not done that yet. Shadow of War's patch was 9 gigabytes. Vermintide's patch was 19. Rise of the Tomb Raider was 31. You had Wolfenstein 2's at 5 gigabytes. You're going to have patches ranging. Assassin's Creed Origins was less than half a gigabyte. So not every game is going to be massive. Keep that in mind. I think some people have the wrong idea there. Not every game is going to have a 20 gigabyte patch. So good support there without massive file sizes. All day, what are you expecting from Injustice 2 running on the X?
No, man, I'm the frame rate's already solid, so I'm thinking just the resolution and texture should be better, man.
4K, more ambient occlusions.
Yeah. Because the game already looked great, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be excited whatever is enhanced. You
Oh,
Yeah, somebody
I just got it. It's 1.75 gigs for me. So
for what?
Injustice 2.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. So
It was in
that's
my
good, man.
Yourself in the
updates.
chat says Ark's patch was 30 gigabytes. That's kind of crazy. I don't have that
That's a
installed.
whole other
so I
game.
don't know.
Shit.
Yeah, that's similar to Rise of the Tomb Raider. Not too surprising. Those high resolution assets, that's what's going to do it for you. So
It's funny. They were in a lot of those reviews. They were complaining about the paltry 1 terabyte hard drive. Because those darn 4K textures just take up too much room. It's wow, what is something to complain about?
Don't buy an X if you don't want the stuff that the X can give you, which is going to be much better looking textures. So you got a lot of people complaining about these larger texture file sizes, right? But they're pretty much the same size on PC, aside from a few games. You've got identical file sizes to the PC. We don't hear people bitching about that, do we?
They're kind of running. They don't really have much to complain about because it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's doing what its purpose is. Are we going to talk about those reviews today on your topic list? I don't want to.
Yes, we are. We're going to talk about a lot.
We'll just hang it out there for a little later then.
Hey, we did got to give a shout out to 700 watching us live. We appreciate it, guys. Hit that like button if you can. I want to talk about this insects tech demo. This is something that's really interesting, right? Because I covered this like 8 months ago from the XFest documents, right? You guys remember those documents? I covered them. And that's where the joke Harry Buglegs comes from on Xbox Nation. We did that a lot. Because that tech demo is what we saw pictures of in those documents. And it turns out if you got an Xbox One X, you're going to be able to download this tech demo that was built from the ground up for Xbox One X. I don't think it'll run on the S. I think it's X only. It takes advantage of all the stuff the X can do. And if you saw how realistic these bugs and shit looked, it will blow your fucking mind. So it is called Insects. You can zoom in. You can change from 4K to 1080p and super sample and without 4K textures and width and HDR and time of day. It's definitely something to fool around with if you're looking to see what something built from the ground up for this console can do because it looks like real life. It's absolutely insane. Have you seen it, Colt?
I saw a thumbnail for it. I'm thinking it's got to be the best exclusive on the Xbox this year.
Oh, man. No, we got Forza. I ain't going to say that. But it does look really fucking good, man.
It's good because, I haven't really been able to properly see much HDR on my TV because on PC it just doesn't really work all that great. And it's not really there. But, yeah, it'll be cool to see what the Xbox is going to push through the cable to my new TV. So it's really good to kind of – you can't kind of use this to calibrate too?
I guess, man, but the only reason I brought it up is because I just think it's extremely interesting that they're releasing a tech demo to download so you can really see the capabilities of the box and what you can expect from games. And, the Xbox One X isn't about 2017 or 2018. It's about every game from now on. And I think these launch patches are actually as good as they are already over the competition. I think this is the worst patches we're going to see because these are older games developers had to break out the old code for. They're not going to try their hardest like they are on the new big AAA game. So, it's just going to get better from here, guys. Just that's all there is to it.
Yeah,
anybody else see this tech demo?
Yeah, you're talking about with the ladybug or whatever that was. Yep. Yeah, it was awesome. And then also there was that one game. It looked like it was a Telltale's game with the chick who did the difference between the 1080p to 4K. That was awesome looking. I wish I would know what that game actually was. Maybe that's one of those games that they were talking about that they're going to be working on. So I'm really excited. It's a really wonderful time to be an Xbox owner right now, and they're looking like they're dotting I's, crossing the T's, man. They're doing everything that they need to do in addressing the public about that. They're now working on first party. They're going to start doubling down on that and bringing in those exclusives. Man. It's on and popping, man. In Phil, we trust, man.
It is cool to see what games when dealers saying that they had to break out old code. It's pretty cool to see which developers were motivated to make their game look better on the platform that isn't the leading platform. So yeah, it is a super good time to be an Xbox owner, especially those of us. A lot of us in this room, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat have around 150 or 200 games in their library. Right? I mean, agree with me in the chat. You got put in the number how many games about you have on your Xbox. If you play on your Xbox a lot, you want to upgrade. So it's a good time to be a gamer.
I'm putting my number in right now.
Yeah, I'll put in mine.
400.
Jeez. No life for dealer.
Yeah, hey, I support the fucking box. See, motherfucker there got 480. Shout out.
Yes.
See, a lot of people have a lot of games, man. People are passionate about gaming, and it's the #1 hobby in the world, in my opinion. So,
yeah, and don't let people tell you that you shouldn't upgrade to this. Somebody wrote too. That's funny. Don't let people tell you that you shouldn't upgrade to the X. If you got a lot of games and you want them to look better, hey, and if you got the money, buy the X. It's going to be a good time.
somebody wants to fuck me. That's kind of odd, buddy. Yeah, get that shit out of here. Fucking weirdo.
Whoa.
All right.
Hey, you know what? And y'all said, and then somebody in the chat said I went left when I said the blacks make moan. Come on now, what the hell is going on?
That was the best.
What happens on this show, man? What's
Shit. Hey, just in case any patrons are just now tuning in, we did do the patron game giveaway, the monthly giveaway at the beginning of the show. Check it out when it re-uploads. Also make a post on the website as well. I just got a question about that. So speaking of games, K-Mega, Phil Spencer and Microsoft once again confirmed doubling down on first-party studios. And he actually did this like 8 months ago. He said we are reinvesting $1 billion into games. All right. So this isn't really new news. This is actually something he said a while ago, 6-8 months ago. He confirmed $1 billion into first party once more, and it's odd that the media didn't really pick that up back then, but this time they are. What do you guys think about this? All day, I know you're really hungry for some of them games.
No, seriously, bro. It's a good thing, man. This is something they needed to do for a long time. I mean, for year 4, I feel like, at least it's announced now, even though he said it 8 months ago, at least he's reiterated on the fact that, that is important to them to get the first party studios in line or purchasing new studios. And it's a great look, man. That's what we need. We need those adult games.
Yeah, Shannon.
I think he reiterated it for a reason. And that reason being, a lot of people are going to say, hey, some games on the X look better than the Pro, right? Okay, whatever. But where are the games, Microsoft? Where are your games at? Where are they? Where are they? So
I've got
who
something to
cares?
say about that.
So I think it was smart of him to come out and say, hey, by the way, we are investing in this. Don't worry.
Yep.
Like, it's kind of funny. I already made a video today talking about Phil Spencer drops bombs. Like, he said this a long time ago.
What were you saying, Cole?
I did some checking about the games. It's kind of strange, the PSN store and the Xbox Live store, they don't have every game. Like all the disc-based games don't make it to the digital store, which is crappy. It's something that both platforms need to get on and just get every game that they can still get licensing to on the download. But there are 913 PS4 games, not full games, full games plus arcade games or whatever and indies and all that. 913, and then on Xbox Store there are 896 X1 games. No 360 games. That's just all X1 category games. So 913 PS4 games versus 896 on the store, which is really weird. There's like a big disconnect there.
And those are facts that anybody can look up, right?
You know what, Colt?
Yes.
I think, too, as you're saying that, I'm thinking about it now. Like, back on 360, when they had those really good arcade titles and those sleeper hits, they would get highlighted in the store. they kind of just float around now. You have to really look to see what's good. You don't really know. So I think if they would just pump out the games in a kind of a spotlight type thing, like hey, check this game out, it's got good reviews or whatever. Maybe,
hey, motherfucker, here's some games. Look at it, click a shit, buy some games.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you got to go in there and just dig and see if something's good or not. Like,
but
you don't really know what's out there.
So anybody can go on the PSN store site on the web and click the filters and do exactly what I did. Right. Also, if you do exclusives, there's a bunch missing on Xbox. So they have 36 exclusives on X1. Like Forza 5 isn't on there, which is really weird. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's just they're just not a complete list. They're just half. I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, there's double that on the PSN store under exclusives. There's somewhere 64 or something exclusives, and I know that PlayStation has a lot more, but I don't know.
So there's probably more realistically around 50 on Xbox and 60 something on PlayStation.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe PlayStation Store is missing some games as well, and I'm not going to go through and scroll them until I'm ready to do like.
Well, either way, if you've ever seen an Xbox One X review where they tell you, well, there's nothing to play on it, or what games are these idiots? I mean, these are just facts, right? Everyone's going to be playing Wolfenstein. Everyone's going to be playing Call of Duty. Everyone's going to be playing Battlefront 2. Everyone's going to be playing Red Dead 2. There's tons of games to play on the thing, not to mention the games that have came out a while back that I hear people all the time talking about.
Yeah.
Any serious reviewer has to approach this objectively. And you know these guys aren't objective. They don't care about if the thing is good or not because they waited until the 3rd. I know that was the embargo, and that's on Microsoft's head, like I said a few videos ago. But they could have waited like some other outlets did a review in progress, and got 20, 30, 40 patches in before they talked about what it was worth or if third parties are going to support it. It was just unacceptable to me.
Yep.
Really stupid way they went about the review. So what's the worst review you guys in the chat have heard of? What's the worst quote? Feed us some one-liners. Maybe we can read them on air. What about you guys in the podcast here? Noof is supposed to be in here sometime. Is he in here?
This console's just not impressive.
Just not impressive. But I bought a Pro. Fuck idiots.
Here's my favorite one. This console is just too darn heavy.
I play with it on my lap. I might get cold legs.
Titan Drago's in the chat. Come on, give us something from a review quote you've heard.
Oh, man. I got all kinds of quotes on Twitter. People got to have some good fucking one-liners here. Like Cold Legs McGee.
We're hearing too heavy. What else are we hearing in the chat? We got some good stuff. My fingers hurt when I tried to lift the Xbox One X.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
These buttons are sticky.
Yeah, it was bad, man. So you know what reviews to kind of go by.
Yeah, Xbox One X, that's the worst launch lineup. Yeah, that is so crazy. Can we talk about that for 1 second?
Launch
that's
lineup?
The worst launch lineup. It's got, and I know these games came out before and after, but it's got Forza 7, it's got PUBG, and it's got
every multiplayer the PlayStation.
Yeah. So it's got more than the PlayStation.
Don't mention Super Lucky's Tale. I mean, it's still there.
Super Lucky's Tale's a $30 game for a kid, just like Knack. I think Knack was $40.
Was it?
Yeah,
Knack 1 was in the $50s, and I mean, I don't remember Sony guys.
Cuphead. I mean, that's still. I mean, it came out September, but still, that's still. A game that's going to look really good on the X.
I've watched both Knack 2 footage a bunch, and I think it looks fun. I wouldn't buy it, but I've seen a bunch of Lucky's Tale, and I'm only going to buy it because my kid wants it. But they both look like fun games. Are they like game of the year? No. Are they going to rate that high? No. But at least they're not $60.
Yeah, Knack and Lucky's Tale, they're for kids play video games too. You know, that's what people forget. So I know we're all adults here, but
we don't act like it. But
kids do play video games too, and it is what it is. They don't give a fuck if it's got 4XAA on it. So yes, Phil Spencer once again confirms that some good shit's coming. Shout out to almost 800 people watching this live. We appreciate it. Hit that like button if you can. And Colt, we got a few questions here. I want to get to two RDX questions real quick. We do a live question of the day. Every day we do the podcast. I put it up on Twitter at dealer_gaming. A question for you guys to have answered live on the show. What do you got?
All right. The first one is from a good supporter of ours, Xbox Trigger. He asks, what do you guys think about this article saying that future Xbox games could go on competitor platforms like the PS4? Now,
didn't that get debunked today?
No, this was something.
Debunked it already. He was talking about Minecraft, and people just took what he said in conversation and ran with it because real journalism doesn't actually exist these days. I don't know what they're doing, man.
The drama cheese.
I can just see Halo. Their Halo's going to come.
Hang on, I got to reiterate what Luca just said. Phil Spencer already came out and bitch smacked that shit to the ground. So, no, you will not see Gears or any of this other stuff on PlayStation. Next question. Thanks for your question, Xbox Trader.
Mambo Jazz, another supporter of ours, says, what do you think this is a tough one. What do you think about the Xbox X Dash being 1080p? It was advertised as being 4K. Is this true?
Well, it was never advertised at 4K. They said they wanted to do the Dash at 4K. So here's what they're doing, guys. And who's that question from?
Mambo Jazz.
Mambo Jazz. Thanks for your question. They said they wanted to do an actual native 4K Dash before the console came out. Turns out developers say, hey, give me that RAM back, bitch. So they got 9 gigs of RAM now instead of 8. That's what they would have had they done a fully native 4K Dash. Now you're just going to get a Dash just like the S has, which I think is, I'd rather developers have more RAM for more better textures and things like that, personally.
Oh, that's true.
That's what they're doing. They gave it to developers. They gave the devs what they wanted, and I think it's a good idea. I'd take that over a slightly sharper dashboard any day. Any other thoughts on that?
Do you guys think that they'll patch up YouTube or
oh my God.
Netflix?
Well, for YouTube, I know that's a Google thing.
Yeah.
Microsoft has nothing to do with that. So if they want to update it, they will.
Mhm.
But
They
I don't
need
know
to.
about Netflix.
Netflix isn't that 4K already?
Yeah, well, I was hearing somebody from I was listening to Digital Foundry, and they were saying some things. That was one of their negatives, which, I mean,
The negatives about what? I don't get. There's 4K content on.
Well, they were saying that they was hoping that they could have the 4K dashboard, and they could have Netflix and YouTube to be better and things of that nature. But it's actually
I thought that they didn't like TV sports.
That's what they were. That's what I was asking, because for me, I got it doesn't really matter, but I just thought that would be just something.
Well, let's let the chat decide. 2, if you'd rather have a 4K dashboard, or 1, if you'd rather have better textures and draw distances. I think we'll see a lot of 1s.
Yes.
Facts. Kaboom! Guess who joined the room?
Darth.
Yeah, finally here. I'm late to the party, but hey, my hat is on. I'm ready to go. It is lunchtime.
Lunchtime. Yeah, Noof, you getting your box tonight, bro? Damn, look at all them
no,
ones.
I won't
Holy
be able to get
fuck.
mine tonight because EB Games up here is lame as shit, and none of the stores are open at midnight or even earlier, so I have to wait till the store opens at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Wow. Hang on, Noof. I got to stop you there. I just saw 2 2s in the chat. 3. What the fuck? A 4?
Hey man,
Wow.
people
For a
want that damn Netflix, man.
No, I mean, we have 4K Netflix. That's why.
I'm sorry, they want that YouTube, that 4K YouTube, man.
Well, that has nothing to do with the fucking dashboard.
No,
That
the
has nothing to do with the
dashboard is-
RAM. That's an app update problem.
We're just talking about the UI being at 4K, guys.
Oh, Fonzarelli, you fraud.
Oh, hey, Fonz.
What's up, guys? What's going on? Hey,
It's me, Fonz. That sound like some girl, right? I use Budweiser as lube.
Sounds like Beetlejuice.
We know some people that actually do that, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. You ever heard some, I don't know, sounds like some kind of transvestite. She always talks about people not playing games, but then you look at the gamer score and it's the same as yours, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, you idiot?
Yeah.
Why are you talking about me?
Why
do you even pay attention to me? Mind your own fuckhole.
That's the symptoms of crystal meth, bro. That's all.
Oh man, I finally caught who y'all was talking about.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I'm no MLG. I mean, I've got 66,000 gamer score, and I think that's just enough to. I mean, I don't know. I think that's plenty. Whatever.
There's certain people in the community. I don't know why they're so salty. Just focus on yourself, build yourself up. Quit trying to tear others down. That's what I recommend. You really could use that advice. So
Yeah, spread the peace, man. Spread
The person that she follows is made that is done that, so she can't do anything else. But
yeah, well, Hooked on Phonics. That's the first game I would play if I was her. I did want to go into.
She gets a.
Hey, I did want to go into the fact that X1X does support 1440p monitors natively, and the dashboard will now have an option to go to that resolution specifically. People are like, why does this matter? Well, because there will be no upscaling at all. It's one of the reasons the Switch's screen looks pretty good for a 720p screen. It's a perfect pixel match every time. There's no upscaling, no scaler chip required in the monitor or the device itself. So you get a much cleaner image even at 720p. Monitor guys will be happy, man. You get that 1440 and you get a very low input lag. Any thoughts on this? I know.
Only thing I have to do it. Can she spell? I had to. I couldn't resist. Okay, keep going. Okay.
Gosh, derailed.
Oh God.
Hey, Fonz, what's going on, buddy?
Oh man. Okay.
Hey man,
Speak up, Fonz.
I had to come in here and just say what's up to everybody. I've got to go soon, but yeah, we're not gone yet. But anyway, I'm getting the kids ready and stuff, and I see you guys talking about this stuff, and I'm like, I'm hitting to just to be a jackass.
I know.
But anyway,
wait, Fonz, wait.
Hey,
Are you getting the X?
yes, everybody, thanks to this awesome community. I will be getting an X, but it won't be coming because Amazon sucks until like Thursday.
Wait.
So.
Oh, shit. I just got an email notification right now. Oh, shit.
God, he just shit his pants.
What's up?
Hey, check this out.
What's it say?
By 8 p.m. tomorrow, the X will be here.
Oh, my
Yeah.
Now you're gonna let me check my fucking phone now.
So you're gonna have your eyeballs peeled to the window, watch for the UPS guys, huh?
I
Be
might
licking
stab him
the
in his
window.
fucking throat.
Yeah, that's
Get my
good
shit.
news, man. It's good news.
Yeah, but here's the
That's
thing,
great
though.
news.
you know what? I can't even enjoy it until the weekend anyway, because I'm trying to work as much as possible. These layoffs are going to be coming again for me, so I'm just trying to get as much money as I can right now. So I'll be playing Gears of War 4 this weekend, melting my own eyeballs, and giving an impressions video by the weekend sometime, guys. And I just want to give a real honest thank you to everybody who's helped me out in this situation. And seriously, guys, you don't know how much it means to me. This has been awesome. This community is talked down upon so much, and God damn it, it's got some great people out there in this community. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm glad we could bring you to the light,
He
brother.
is.
Glad
He is
we could
now
bring you aboard
converted.
and show you the light, man.
He has.
Yeah, there's a lot of
he
really
is
awesome
now
people in the community.
ours.
So anyway,
Welcome,
yeah.
my
So guys,
child.
just you know what? Before I go, I just want to say real quick because I got to go. Everybody, stop talking shit about the X, about the Pro, whatever you have. Be happy. Just be a gamer. Have fun. This is great times. New technology always pushes the hobby that we love forward. Be happy, guys. Be happy.
It sounds like someone snatched him by his fucking sleeve.
All
Where
day,
you going,
check.
Fonz?
All day, check your Twitter. Actually, all you guys check Twitter. Cyrus just linked. He just linked this.
Boss, we love you. Bro. You take care, man.
Yeah, Fonz, good luck, man.
All
Good
right,
luck.
good luck.
Bye,
with
Hey,
Fonz.
nice talking to you, Fonz.
that, man. That's awesome.
Good luck, man.
bro.
All right, Noof, we kind of got sidetracked since you got in here, bud.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
where
no
we
doubt.
were.
So you got fucked too, huh? All day didn't. You just got unfucked.
Yeah, they pulled it out real quick.
Yep. So that's
Nah,
great.
I'm still getting it on Thursday.
All right. Well, we got a lot of topics to get through. Thanks for joining us live, guys. Those just joining. I want to run through Witcher 3 real quick, even though I did cover this. We haven't had an RDX since we've done this. So it does feature 4K resolution. It does feature better shadows. It does feature ambient occlusion, ultra textures, along with a performance boost. All day, I know you're going to absolutely love this game when you play it, especially.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
most
form.
definitely.
A lot of people are looking for this patch. For those asking, no, the patch is not here as of yet. But I would imagine, since they already know they got a performance boost and all these other attributes, it's going to be available soon. So just keep an eye open. The complete edition is on sale all the time. Luca, are you getting it on the X because of this? Are you going to play it on the PlayStation again or what?
I already have it on the X. You know, I have it already. I have the complete edition already. I double dipped, man. I double dipped. This game is The Witcher 3 is the best game I've ever played. Like, it's not my favorite game of all time, but it's up there. But it is the best game I've ever played. I was so immersed in the story, the RPG element. I was just like, this is phenomenal. So I'm definitely playing it again. It'll be after I finish all the new games that have come out.
What do you say we? What do you say we climb onto the unicorn again and get down?
Okay, Gerald.
Absolutely.
All right.
Come on, let's get on the unicorn.
I did want to move into this real quick. This was extremely interesting to me. I saw this on Twitter. Somebody posted the load time differences between Xbox One S and Xbox One X when it came to Grand Theft Auto 5. It's a massive game even to this day. And I'm sure the chat has seen this, but Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Xbox One S took 67 seconds to load into the story, right? Just like PS4, around 60 seconds. Now on the X, it took 23 seconds, and he proved it in a video. That is a dramatic shift in load times thanks to that 7,200 RPM drive and, of course, the faster CPU and RAM. That is insane, guys. I know a lot of people are excited for that.
I'd love to see what that does when you're switching between single player to multiplayer, because that load time is like 3 or 4 minutes sometimes or longer.
He's cheating.
What?
You're gonna be hearing that shit. No, but how fast are the externals right now? Like, anybody on the panel know how
7,200 RPM on
fast?
average.
So about the same.
Yeah. That's why the load times were the same, whether you had an external or an internal. So they've gotten rid of all the bottlenecks there, is what Albert Pernilla said. And that's fucking awesome, man. So meaning I don't have to transfer nothing. I just plug it in and go. And
Well, if it gets those enhancements, man, I'm definitely gonna pop it in and go hit the streets and find me a hooker and then see what that looks like. All right, man.
Wow. Wow. That's like something Noof would say, man. You took his
Man,
job.
it's got wild already. I just came in and then hit everybody.
I'm going to go grab me a hooker and see what it looks like. That first-person hooker action wasn't already weird enough. I mean, it's pretty awkward. You got to admit it. Come on. You know you've done it, Megan. I know you have.
No, never.
It's not bad. I mean, it'll get the job done.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. God.
Next subject.
All right.
Xbox One X versus PS4 Pro. They've done some tests on the thermals, the noise, and all that stuff. For those curious, I got a lot of questions. Hey, is this thing gonna be louder than the S? It's got to be, right? It's fucking 4.5 of those things stacked in power.
You'd think.
Well, for one, it's 6 versus 4 teraflops. X versus Pro, just in case two of you don't know. The X ran at 108 degrees or 106 degrees Fahrenheit, which seems high, but that's actually low. That's 41 degrees Celsius. Okay. The PS4 Pro ran at 124 degrees Fahrenheit, 51 degrees Celsius. Compared to a PC graphics card, that's still really low. Keep that in mind. PC
Dude,
graphics.
What is that temperature in Fahrenheit?
I know my GPU, the 1080, runs around like 180 degrees sometimes, which isn't. I'm not saying that's normal for everyone, but I have a smaller case, so just just keep in mind that this is a low temperature for this amount of power. 51 degrees Celsius or 41 degrees Celsius for the X, 106 degrees. You've got 38 decibels for the Xbox One X and 42 decibels for the PS4 Pro. So not only is it more powerful, substantially so, but it's actually quieter and it runs cooler. And, it's about the same noise as the S, which I don't think I've ever heard spin up any fan noise, anything. So that's crazy. I mean, anyone was curious about this at all? Are you thinking in the back of your head, maybe this thing's going to be loud?
That surprises me because I've heard about, does the Pro not make as much noise as the base PS4?
No, it makes more noise.
So that's
I don't remember. I haven't played mine in like almost 3 months. So
I don't know, man. Usually the volume's up. Usually headphones are on. I don't ever pay attention to the noise.
Yeah, like I've just seen plenty of videos because I got the Slim, and I tell you what, man, it's winter's coming, and all I got to do is keep my electric bill.
Oh God!
Turn on that PlayStation jack, and it's gonna get nice and toasty.
Yeah, PS4 gets very hot on the underside, which you usually won't ever feel, but. Man, I've had a lot of people message me that they've felt underneath the Slim, and you're cooking egg rolls on that thing.
Yeah. The homeless people won't need a jacket this winter. We'll just donate all the PS4 Pros we're not using and go down and hook them up on the street corners.
Oh, man. I mean, PS4 Pro will have its time, I guess you could say, but it's not going to be this year. That's for sure. It's going to be when Spider-Man comes out. That's the next time I'll probably boot mine up, honestly. Shout out to 800 people watching this live. Hit that like button, guys. Thanks for joining. As we go into Albert Pinello's interview, a lot of stuff. He talked about a lot of stuff here, guys. I don't know if you watched this. Anybody here check this interview out with Unlocked?
Yes, I did. It was. We talked about it on GRG. It was pretty exciting. He did. He broke a lot of things down.
Mm-hmm.
Even how it even started. I know that our boy Z wanted to try to make it about Donnie D. But because they did the talk about it, talk about the X in 2010. But he gave the love to Phil Spencer because he was the one that said, look, if you're going to make this, if we're going to do this, then we got to go all out. It's got to be 4K. It's got to be HDR. We want this thing to be state of the art. So
they did say the specs were never nailed down until through time. The roadmap, the AMD roadmap, really determined that. So. He did say that they did not know Sony were doing iterative upgrades, so it's kind of odd that Sony and Microsoft were doing the same thing. He also confirmed that they were working on plans for an iterative console before the Xbox One was even out in 2012, which is why Z is saying it's Donnie D, but really it's not any one person.
No.
Man, what did he say? Yeah, that's 2012. He also said that they're learning from Sony's communication mistakes. Some of the things that Sony have done wrong. I mean, we've all got a Pro here or whatever. We all got a PlayStation here. We all know that so you never know what's going on with PlayStation 4 Pro half the time or how the support's going. I think the support, while maybe it's had some titles out there, it's just not been satisfying to me. I don't like slight resolution bumps, at all. So, Colt, what do you think they can learn from Sony if they take anything away from what's happened with the Pro?
With as regards to the Pro?
Yeah, they take that and use it with the X and say, "Oh shit, don't do that."
Well, I mean, I don't know how they could because with the numbers tell the whole tale. The Xbox does double on almost everything: memory bandwidth, processor, well, not the processor speed, but the
GPU,
the frequency. The GPU power is like 42% over. So developers see that extra power, and we've seen that they're hungry to use it and to make their games look better. So I don't know what they can learn. I just want Xbox to learn whatever Sony's doing by snatching up those. Can I say the word snatch?
Yeah, I think
snatching up those third-party console exclusives. Like games that Hellblades. I'm sorry, thank you. That game is a Capcom game. Capcom is normally a multi-platform developer and publisher, and like that game should come to Xbox because right now on the PlayStation 4 platform, it hasn't made a profit yet. It's like almost breaking even right now.
Is that what the developer said?
They're just about at the breaking even point, and that's a fantastic game that has been rated very well. It's a beloved game already, and it should be making money for that publisher. So I want Microsoft to learn how they're grabbing those deals for third-party games.
Maybe we can ask the chat too. What do you guys think Microsoft could learn from the Pro in terms of communication and features, wants, needs, etc.? Anybody else in the panel here got any ideas? Anything?
Well, I think personally that Sony was counting on its brand recognition to more or less sell the Pro more so than Xbox knew that they had to up the ante, that the X had to be a significant jump forward for them because of everything they'd gone through over the past couple of years. Sony was banking on their reputation to more or less sell consoles, and I think it worked to the most part. I mean, lots of people went out, buying long before there was any significant games taking advantage of the Pro. I mean, one of the first big examples or best uses they've had was Horizon Zero Dawn, that really pushed the resolution a little bit and stuff like that, so that was part of it. And the good thing for Microsoft here, and I guess it's a fan testament and a kudos to them for giving us a good machine, is that they're seeing that we are willing to spend at least the $500 to invest in a console, because that was the make or break point that a lot of people didn't really know how this was going to work out for them. And I'm pretty sure Microsoft had no idea when they dropped that $500 price point at E3 that we were going to go, yeah, we're all going in. We're gonna buy this thing. You know what I mean? I think that was the biggest question mark that they had. It wasn't about whether they were delivering the tech. It was, will people really jump in and make this thing a success at the $500 price point? And based on at least the pre-orders, I'd say we did. And that's a good thing moving forward, because at least they know that they have some leeway when it comes to the type of tech that they decide to purchase to put in their next console. Like, okay, if we push it a little harder, we give people better specs that they want, maybe we can flex the price a little bit, because people will say, look, as long as you're delivering a great product, a great console, we're willing to spend the money. Just don't give us a half-assed effort and try to cheat us out of our dollars.
That's worth I want to ask everyone here the same question before I do. I think it's worth noting that with the Xbox One X, the $100 price difference by itself is covered by that 4K player. Keep in mind, you go out and buy one of those 4K players, you're paying almost pretty much $200 right now. You can get them for around that price. So that's the $100 right there by itself. Then you combine that with the best console ever made in terms of power and performance. Also keep in mind that you're getting substantially better load times. Unlike the Pro, you're also getting automatic texture filtering up to 16x on that kind of texture filtering, which does make a good difference on all games. Older games are getting boosted as well. You get 4K 60 game DVR. You just get things with this console that you don't get anywhere else, and you get all these convenient features as well. But like I said, the player alone is the $100 gap.
Yeah, can I say that I just talked about the power differential between the Pro and the X? It's not $100 difference. I mean, let's just ignore the 4K Blu-ray player. If you go by the price point of the Pro and look at what they put into the X, minus the 4K Blu-ray player, you're looking at like a $200 plus more dollars. Like that X should be like a $600 console for what it offers compared to the Pro.
Well, let's compare it to PC real quick while you're in the middle of that. A GTX 1060, let's say, because it's about 30 frames per second difference between the two, and that's just on the GPU side. You get all those extra features and textures because of the RAM. It all works together. But 30 FPS difference, that's like the difference between a 1060 and a 1070, just thereabouts, somewhere around there. And those cards are definitely more than $100 difference there.
And
Well, let me ask you
gotta
guys a
include,
question, and I think I know the answer to this. You guys for weeks now have been saying about the comparisons of it's almost impossible to build a PC that is equivalent to the Xbox One X at the $500 price point, right? Like most builds are coming in well over $700. That's if you're doing it right and you're including just about everything. But has anybody tried to figure out what kind of PC you would get with the PlayStation 4 Pro specifications at $399? Like, where would that one come in? Has anybody checked it out?
I'm sure they have done
GameStop or GameSpot tried to do that last year, and they put it around $600 or $700, and then the X version was about the same price. But those guys had their parts all,
and they're idiots. They had
they overpowered the Pro build and they underpowered the X build.
They had an RX 480 in there. The Pro is not even close to an RX 480 in power. It's an HD 7970 gigahertz edition at 4.2 teraflops, not 6 teraflops or 5.9. So, yeah, I don't GameSpot. I always get those mixed up.
I think PC World did a good one.
Yeah,
yes. I think PC World it was maxed out at 705, I do believe.
Yeah, 693 was the lowest.
They did it right because they chose the RX 580, which is a $300 GPU. It's just doing it just about the performance of the X. They put in a good CPU, which they did the right thing. They picked a affordable Ryzen, right? Didn't they, Dealer? Dealer and I both.
It was
no Wi-Fi card, no
Ryzen
keyboard
3,
mouse.
Yeah, they skimped out. They skimped out on the build, and they still came in $200 more expensive without a 4K Ultra HD player, which is actually what Albert Pinello says. The next point here, he says that you cannot build a $500 PC that does what this thing does. Keep in mind that, you know, they're the only GPUs out there with 9 gigabytes of RAM, like the X1X has for games, is something like you need a 1080 Ti, which has 11 gigabytes. You need a Titan, which has 12, things like that. 1080 has 8, which you're going to get very similar results. Anything with 8, you're going to be good with, but a 1060 with only 6 is not going to do the trick for you.
And the memory bandwidth is half of the X on the 1060 if you have the full 6 gigabyte card. So I get tired of people pushing that 1060 build with like a Pentium. I'm like,
no, PC World just destroyed all those people over and over. So now PC World, they don't trust them and stuff, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, when people talk crap about the 4K drives, and you know, if my memory serves me well, when I was growing up and I had a PS2, I think that was one of the coolest features was playing DVDs on it. So I don't think that feature left a lot of people's minds.
I mean, who wants less features? Who wants less?
Yeah.
Like, well, you might as well just use your phone to call people then.
Right.
And in the HDR monitor, you don't see a lot of people talking about that as well, because that's something that this machine offers. You know, if you just can't have like I have a 1080p LED monitor, you still have to buy a HDR monitor in order to get the same type of assets that you get out of the X. Yeah. So
wait, is there any PC monitor that are HDR?
They add $200 to your, if you're looking at like a 27-inch monitor and you decide you want one with HDR, just like on the 4K TVs, if you want HDR, add a couple $100 to your price tag, because that's what does the budget. I don't know why it's so expensive, but.
Well, I mean, that's assuming you don't want to use your 4K TV, which you can do. It's easy.
And FreeSync. Don't forget about FreeSync as well.
Yeah.
If you want a system with no features, we have one for you. It's called the Nintendo Switch.
Hey, they just got 30-second game capture. Damn it.
Woo!
And shout out to all the regular people watching this live. Hit that like button. We appreciate it. Let's try to get the show up to over 1,000. That would really help the channel out quite a bit. Albert Pinello says that even if the Xbox One X had a faster CPU, there would still be developers out there that still would have 30 frames per second versions of their games. He says there's always a developer out there that wants to push animation or alpha effects to the max and really boost visuals over frame rate. And you're going to have devs like that. There are developers that say they could have done 60, but they wanted to do it in 30 and give the best visuals for the lowest common denominator. This kind of makes perfect sense, I guess. Maybe give us the option. That's kind of the cool thing about options is everyone wins, even though you will have bottlenecks and drops at 60. It's still worth it to me, especially if it's like Gears, where they confirm in Digital Foundry's video that Gears 4 is locked most of the time at 60 frames, but there are some drops, and one is as bad as like 47 for an instant.
Oh, God, that was the one they took the cheese on.
Yep. They fucking eat that cheese all day.
And what platform doesn't drop frames? You know, under and Digital Foundry called it an edge. What they call it, an edge. Gosh dang it, I forgot what they're
an edge case.
Edge case, yeah, like the worst case scenario. Very rare. There was that moment, and that's their job. And that's what we like about Digital Foundry. They're going to take that moment and say, at this point, it dropped to 47 frames, and like Dealer said, the rest of the time it was pretty much locked at 60 where it should be. So yeah, I mean that's great. I've done a lot of gaming on different platforms, and every game when crazy stuff's going on screen, ever since Contra on the NES. So raise your hand in here if you guys played on the NES back in the day. My friends and I had a word for it when the screen would start flickering and slowing down. We called it contraing. We called it contraing, and you know, for years, for 20 years, I was calling slowdown in games contraing until I got into this. When I learned what frame rate drop was. So,
wow.
You know, that's just how it goes.
I had a friend of mine who used to call it stutter step.
Stutter step.
I was like, what did you say?
You're right though. All day they took the cheese too, and you know it's ridiculous. So they did say it's locked most all the
Dealer,
time.
honestly, bro, like when you're playing on PC, you and Colt, you guys can attest to like when you're playing games that should be locked at 60 all the time. I mean, there is hiccups once in a while.
Oh, of course. Even on something like a 1080. So don't think that the X is immune to frame drops. I said it in my Gears of War 60 FPS video. I said it again after. They're going to try to lock it as often as possible, and this is actually probably the reason they didn't advertise the 60 frames per second mode, because they knew they could. They didn't advertise it initially because they knew they couldn't lock that frame rate 100% of the time because of the CPU. It's not the 6 teraflops number, as I've said fucking 60 times. So I don't know. Interesting stuff. I'm glad the 60 frames mode there, especially knowing it's locked most of the time. Luca, you haven't gone through Gears yet. What do you plan to do here?
It was like a life-altering question.
Luca, I'll play it with you.
Oh, I'm doing the high frame rate mode.
Okay. So you doing that real shit?
Yeah,
Colt,
absolutely.
Take the lead on this one, bud. Albert Pinella says that the Xbox One X will not be the lowest common denominator, will not be a new base model for Xbox in the future. Meaning, when Xbox Scorpio 2, let's call it, comes out, Xbox Scorpio will not be something that's like an Xbox One S now. You know what I'm saying? How they've got that stepping stone action going on there. There will basically be a generational step there, but I'm predicting that they will carry compatibility forward, like he's saying as well.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
That kind of confused me when he said that because I didn't quite know what he was getting at. Like when I call it the Xbox 5, he's saying that the Scorpio won't still be there, or what's he saying?
Yeah, he's basically saying that the Scorpio will be there. You'll be able to play all those games on it, but he's basically saying, and I don't think he knows fully, but he's saying that it will not be like the S is now, where it won't be a new base model. The S is now the base model, whereas the Scorpio is an iterative upgrade.
So basically, it'll be like a medium console when the new one comes out.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll be in between the both, right?
Yeah, he's saying that it's like a clean break. They're gonna change to Ryzen Core, Bristol, or Raven Ridge APUs. You're gonna get many more 60 frames per second games, and he's saying that the X now will not be the new base model. I'm sure the chat understands what I'm saying. Will not be the new base model like the S is now.
Right. It'll be still a legit upgrade from the base model. Still.
Yeah,
right.
It'll be good stuff. So, Cole, go ahead and ask another question, bro, after you guys are done discussing this. I got to run off for a minute. You guys discuss it. I'll be right back.
Okay. The next one is from Stephen Bastian. It says, of all the new technical features that are in the Xbox One X, which impresses you guys the most? This is for everybody in the panel. What feature on the X are you guys most happy about?
It being able to give me a higher frame rate. That's what I'm most excited about.
For me, I would say for the option, if you want to get performance or if you want to have the boost of your frame rate, the 4K HDR that's ridiculous. I mean, with such a powerful system, and you get to play with your older games, and those games are going to perform better. That to me is the most impressive.
I think the most impressive thing for me is the vertical stand. Woo!
How about you, Noof? Noof, what are you most impressed about the X?
Honestly, the thing that stood out to me, Colt, maybe you can agree with me here, is I really like the fact that they've included the 12 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM with 9 dedicated to gaming alone. Because if there's one notorious thing that most manufacturers have always skimped on when it comes to consoles is they always cheap out with the freaking RAM. And I know that's one of the more expensive components to put in a console, but they always seem to do that no matter what we've had. Like you can look back to the history of consoles, most of them are notorious for just always giving you like almost like a bare minimum of RAM. You go and buy like a basic laptop off the freaking shelf and they come with like as much RAM as is in a console, and you're like, yeah, but yet we want to play these, you know, these really good, you know, PC equivalent titles, and like somehow they always gotta get by on way less RAM, and we all know that RAM is like super detrimental to how fast, you know, that machine is computing various things, you know, for graphics and just uploads. So I was really impressed when I saw that 12 gigs, and then they said 9 is dedicated to gaming alone. I was kind of blown away.
Yeah, because that's what is ticked off so many PC gamers, because they have $900, $1,000 into their PC, and they're looking at that 12 gigs of GDDR5, and they've got a card with 8 gigs of GDDR4, and they're like, that's where the threaten comes from, right? So this is the first time where consoles, and I'm going to lump the Pro in here because I really believe the Pro deserves this praise as well. These two consoles, the X and the Pro, are actually standing next to the shoulders of good PCs. And GameSpot recently said, I can't remember if it was GameSpot, but they said 55%. They said that these consoles are better than 55% of gaming PCs out there, which goes along with the Steam survey, which shows what the Steam survey isn't very accurate, but it shows that the hardcore PC gamers are in the minority of all PC gamers. And these consoles are finally, and this is what PC gamers and console gamers wanted. They wanted more power to play games and have better looking games that are up there with the PC. They're finally doing it, and this is something you should be happy about, because this is good stuff.
The X is actually it's pushing the envelope on making everybody get better. You know, because now everybody, I mean, PC is always going to keep elevating, but now since what the X is doing, PlayStation's got to elevate their game. Nintendo's going to stay Nintendo. They can do what the hell they want to. We see that now, and it's working for them. Yeah, and it works for them. But PlayStation can't follow suit. PlayStation's got to stay with Xbox. Xbox has got to stay with PlayStation and with the PC.
It's healthy.
Yeah, because it's healthy for gaming, and it benefits us all. And finally, consoles is back is back where it needs to be even somewhere even comparable of the PC, and that means a lot to console gamers. Should anyway.
I think
this is going to see. Sorry to cut you off. Did you guys think we're going to see a bit of a gap difference now between the game sales? Because initially, a lot of the multiplats are selling greater on the PS4, and I've had a lot of friends who have like an Xbox One, but they also have a PS4, but have been buying the multiplats over on the PS4 because they generally looked and ran a bit better. You know what I mean? Where a lot of my hardcore friends on Xbox, yes, are buying multiplats for Xbox because their friends are there, but I think people that don't look at it that way have always gravitated to PS4. So you think we're going to at least see the sales differential between titles now sort of start to even out? People start to go back over the Xbox One X?
Well, what do you think? I mean, look at right now, the sales for the Scorpio, for the X, are like going so crazy that people are worried they can't even get them on time. So this is something that's going to, you know, last year the Pro sold 1 in 5 of PS4s was a Pro, and I think they sold around 1.5 million Pros at the end of the year last year, which is really good. And we could see, I'm predicting we'll see somewhere around every 2 out of 5 Xboxes could be an X. What do you guys think that's possible?
Yeah.
I mean,
being that Xbox doesn't have any like super must-have exclusives this year, I feel like the X will take its place, and people will say, "Hey, there's a new piece of hardware out. You know, let's go pick up that." You know, so
PUBG is gonna be a determining factor,
right? Still the hottest
because it's still going to be hot, and it's going to really determine if any PC people are going to go and try to pick up the X, because it's going to be cheaper than buying everything for the enhancements for their PC. So, and if they are a big fan of PUBG and they're going to have the opportunity to play it, it'll be great. And the one thing why I keep arguing with Z and crapping them is that mouse and keyboard capability, having that feature as an option on the X is a benefit, because there are gamers that just likes to play with those things. And as long as they have a a balancing system, which they do, I even showed it on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. that's sky's the limit, man. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, and PUBG is going to be a $30 game. That's great. The hottest game right now in gaming is going to launch on the X for $30. How cool is that?
Which game is that?
PUBG.
PUBG. Sorry, something popped up here. But yeah.
So, Dealer, what's your favorite feature of the X? Technical feature was the question. Everybody's pretty much chimed in, and now you're back from eating your Taco Bell.
everything.
Nah, he was eating his drama cheese.
The performance, the load times, to the fact that I plug it in where I plug my ass in, and it just works. It's just everything. They've over-engineered it. It's quieter, or just as quiet. It runs cooler, or just as cool as the competition. It's just a great, well-engineered product. I'm just excited for it.
I didn't say my favorite feature when I heard the question. The first thing that popped in my head, which may sound weird to you guys, but the 4K 60 game capture with HDR really excites me, because I like to make videos, and I like to share my clips with my friends and with you guys, and I'm really excited about that quality, because part of the reason why I built a PC a couple years ago is because when I recorded clips on the Xbox, they were really dumbed down. It's actually pretty sad, the quality there, but in comparison, the Pro only records at 1080p 30. They can't even game capture at 60. So yeah, it's just really cool. The game capture is one of my favorite features.
Yeah, it points to an extreme boost in efficiency. You go from 1080p 30 game capture. It can stream in 60, but it can't capture 60 to my knowledge, or at least my Pro hasn't. And now they're doing 4K 60 capture on the X using HEVC, which is a very efficient codec. They say an hour of 4K footage on the X for using the thumb drive or external capture is only about 10 gigabytes, which is very low for 4K footage. So it looks good too. I've seen reviews where people use nothing but that game DVR footage, and it looks phenomenal. Looks like a capture card.
Yeah, that format is so new. It just barely came to our video products that we're using to produce videos.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's a team working on fucking Upload Studio. Fuck.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a little bit wonky, isn't it?
I've seen some people make some cool stuff on there.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the system first came,
If you got the time to tinker with it, yeah, you can make it pretty good, but it's so wonky when trying to upload stuff. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it cuts out, and it definitely needs an overhaul.
How many damn times do I got to use when I do use it? Seeing what was it? Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare little tiles. Come on, man.
Sunset Overdrive tiles. Like, come on, bro. Like,
we've got almost 850 people watching this live. We appreciate it, guys. Hit that like button if you can. Albert also said they put a ton of Scorpio editions out there. They, of course, released them all. They want to sell them to you after all. They didn't create any fucking fake demand like some morons would suggest. They also said there will not be any Black Friday deals for this console, and that's up to Microsoft. Now, stores can do what they want, but most likely you will not see very many Black Friday deals for the X. So if you do see it, you might want to jump on that shit. And it's worth every single penny as it is. So I also wanted to cover Hitman. It actually got an Xbox One X enhanced trailer. True 4K, 60 FPS, better textures, and all that good stuff, along with HDR. Anybody in here going to try Hitman out on the X?
Yes.
I'm a big Hitman fan. I think that would be pretty cool. I haven't played in a while, and I didn't really like the way they kind of broke it up in episodic form. But I mean, hey, it's getting X support. I heard the game got decent reviews, so I think I want to check this one out, man.
Yeah. Man.
Somebody in the chat brought up something about PUBG on Amazon Prime. That it's $23. I'm looking at it right now. Yes, they said your price if you check out right now will be $23.99. If you order it right now, and I think it's hard copy.
Will you get it on time?
Yes, I get it on time. Oh man, you being messy, Lukey. But yeah, it says it. So yeah, man. I didn't get to see whose name that was in the chat, but you're absolutely right. I'm looking at it right now, man. I might have to.
Yeah, I looked at it earlier. It was 23. Yeah,
23 for the biggest game of the year. So that's a pretty good deal. I want to cover Xbox One X reviews, and I'm going to keep this one kind of short because we did cover it a little bit already. But so far, they're okay. Any thoughts? Any reviews that stood out to anyone here on the panel, as well as the chat?
There's a few. I like the ones that are a little bit more seldom. They weren't so I like the ones
They
that
were legitimate. They were genuine.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't like the ones that. I mean, like I said, you have some good reviews. Like this is going good, and all of a sudden, up here it comes. Oh shit, it's raining. Oh fuck. So I mean, some of them were good. I mean, overall, everyone's pretty impressed. It's just that the whole exclusive thing. That's even though that's not really the that's not what the console's there for right now. It's just to enhance everything and make everything 4K and try to take that at a higher value than the games.
Hey, I'll tell you who had a pretty decent review is fucking DualShockers, the Sony site.
Yeah, I didn't even see it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, DualShockers, they knew what it was for. They did mention the extra diversity in the third party on PS4, which is absolutely true. You have some stuff like Gravity Rush and all this other stuff that didn't really even sell over there, but they do have it. Options are good, but they mentioned that, hey, if you're a third party person this year anyway, then get it. And keep in mind too, when people don't look forward when they mention third party only, but Xbox has 3 exclusives in the first 4 months of the year next year. Crackdown 3, State of Decay, and of course Sea of Thieves is supposed to come.
If you don't, I mean, they're coming. If you don't like them, that's another thing. But don't say they don't have any.
I mean, but that's the same thing. It stands on both sides. Gravity Rush, Persona. A ton of people don't like that kind of stuff either. So you like what you like, and I guess we'll have to see how that goes. But each platform has games. Xbox has had a ton of games all generation. They had 6 last year at that back half of last year. Yeah, I mean, insane. So a lot of people just have, I don't know, man. They just forget stuff.
If you don't like them, it's subjective, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is subjective.
I did like the fact that
unboxing, but
what are you saying, Noof?
No, I like Lamar Wilson's unboxing. The only thing I didn't like about his was right out of the get-go, he's like, if you don't have a 4K TV, this is not a system for you. I was like, Microsoft is trying to been, getting that away from people's thought patterns because that's a misconception, right? But otherwise, I like reviews like that. Guys who legitimately seem excited about a product, can break stuff down in a way that the average consumer has any idea what they're talking about. That sort of thing. I just like to see the enthusiasm because some of those reviewers, man, despite the good or bad reviews, they look like they got hit in the freaking head with a brick when they opened this thing. It was like, hey, look, I got an Xbox. What becometh of me to get such a paltry, measly system on this so holiest of days? And I got like $1,000 of games, but I don't care, like, because honestly,
they'll all come around. They'll all come around.
Did you see PC World opened their review with, here we are with the Xbox One X, the fake PC.
Oh, yeah, I told dealer about that.
It's like, I was like, hey, buddy.
Hello, my name's Robert Allen. I'm here with the fake PC.
I'm here with the console that we couldn't replicate for $200 more while cutting corners.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to reach them like, dude, your coworkers just built one of these on a PC version for $200 more, and you're going to say fake PC? Jeez. Unbelievable. I didn't watch a lot of those reviews, any of them. I mean, I kind of watched a minute or two, and I'm like, I can't do this.
Like, we know you're PC World, but don't be really biased fuck faces, I
already know what the X is. Like, we've been reporting on it for the whole year. I mean, I don't need to go see somebody unbox it and try and review it, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to skip to this topic here. Xbox One X won't be held back like the Xbox 360 was a year after launch. Gears 1 really maxed out what 360 could do, and they kind of refined that from there through Gears 2 and 3. But ultimately, there wasn't too much left in the box. Gears 1 did a really good job of getting that power out of the box. And Project Code Shift developer says, yeah, that's not going to happen with the X. And you're going to have a lot more potential, a lot more ceiling with the X. And I've said that that's, of course, because of more RAM and stuff like that. Quick thoughts on this, guys, before we kind of start to wrap it up. What do you think is going to happen in the next 5 years with this thing? You think it's going to be held back pretty early on, or you think it's got a pretty long future ahead of it?
5 years? What do you guys think? How long?
I think it's future-proof. I think this thing is future-proof, just for the mere fact it'll be super cheap. The new iteration of the Xbox will be available, and the way that they're now trying to balance everything out, where no gamer is really left behind. The S is going to be gone; they don't have to worry about it, and this is going to be the cheap version to get, and you'll have all of your games to bring with you. It's going to be like it's going to be a console version of a PC. You have all your games.
Everything comes forward with you from now on.
Yep. From now on. So yeah, I think this thing is future proof. That's the whole reason. But for the people that might not want to get a 4K television right now, 4K televisions is going to be really cheap next year.
They're already
the Black Friday sales that came out. Some of the ads that leaked. I mean, you can get some $399, $499.
They're almost half price from what they are last year. For those of you who bought your TV last year.
Yep, it's crazy.
And the 4K Blu-ray drive in there also future-proofs it, because not a lot of people own hardly any 4K Blu-rays, and if those become more mainstream, a lot of people should be sticking with physical movies. If you want to own a bunch of your favorite movies, you can play them, and streaming just doesn't look the same. You're at the mercy of your internet if you have a data cap and all that stuff. So it's good thing.
Compressed, no matter how good your internet is. It's compressed compared to 4K Blu-ray. So I got a lot of 4K Blu-rays. I didn't think I'd end up reinvesting, but I mean, it's just the best way to take advantage of my 4K TV.
I mean, I played movies in 4K on Netflix, and having them natively on a disc is completely different, bro.
How much are 4K Blu-rays right now?
Well,
it all depends.
25 to 30 bucks new.
Yeah, okay. From 19 to 30. Yeah, in that range up in there. So it's not even bad. It's kind of the same as Blu-rays almost.
Yeah, I mean, they look good, man. I just picked up Spider-Man. I've pretty much been picking up everything from in terms of new movies.
Did your Xbox explode when you popped that Xbox when the Spider-Man in there?
We got something from Buddha Time. Buddha Time just messaged me on Twitter. Shout out to Buddha. He does say on the Xbox One X, and keep in mind this is Buddha Time's word, so let's see how accurate Buddha is here. But he says on the Xbox One X, you can do the record that using the external drive. So currently on the S, if you don't know, they did update 1080p. It looks great. They increased the bit rate while increasing the pixels. The recording on the S looks really good. But on the X, of course, 4K 60, we covered that. On the S, there is currently no option to do a record that while using external storage. So you can record up to an hour of 1080p. You cannot hit X and record the last 5 or 10 minutes. On the X, he's telling me that you can hit the X button and record the last 5 or 10 minutes while using external storage. If this is true, this is really awesome, because I'm actually going to do that. That's how I'm going to fuel my channel from now on, is with Xbox One X footage, because I'll be using that the most. So,
I'm happy for that.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And on that note, guys, we got to get out of here. We've taken up a lot of your time. This is the longest podcast we've ever done. Thanks once again for showing up. We hope all of you guys have no issues getting your Xbox One X's. Have a good time. Tons of games patched right now already before the 7th. So I'm sure the one you want will probably be there. And before you guys head out, hit that like button, and we do appreciate it. Luca, what do you got going on? Where can people find you?
Hey, you guys can find me at the Ash and Luca on Twitter and also on Xbox Live. And I just want to say this was a really great show. Oh my God. It's happening, guys. We're going to have the system in our homes. We've all been hyped for it for
For a while.
Just for a while, and it's really exciting. And I can't wait to play on the system. A lot of my friends have already gotten it. So shout out to y'all. And shout out to almost 900 people watching tonight. Pretty hot.
Somebody
guys rock.
asked me, how come you don't get someone that reviewed it to come on? Like, I don't need to. I already told you everything that was going to happen with this thing a year ago.
Dealer reviewed the thing back in February.
Dealer's been doing this nonprofit work, man.
Yep. So, I get plenty of recognition for that, though. I appreciate the messages. Thanks, guys. All day. It's been a while since you've been on here, fuckface. What have you been up to?
Yeah, nothing much, man. I've been, slaving away, getting whipped in the back, But no, I'm happy to be back, man. It's been a great show. A lot of people tuning in. For the community out there on Twitter and all other social media fucking applications, stay lactose free, please.
Yeah.
Stay away from the drama cheese.
Stay away from that rat ass cockroach drama cheese.
You don't need it. You don't need it. You know what I mean? Everybody enjoy your consoles, man. Whatever you're on.
Oh, yeah.
Noof, bro, thanks for dropping in. What have you been up to, bro?
Hey, brother. Well, thanks for having me here. I'm sorry it took so long to get here. Our actual podcast actually ran over time as well. We were a bit late starting, so I tried to get here as quick as I could. I just wanted to say to everybody that is picking up an Xbox One X, whether you have it now, you're getting it later, or you're getting it tomorrow, or whenever, just enjoy it, guys. I mean, it's a great console. It's Microsoft's fan service to everybody. And if you don't get a chance to get one over the next little while, don't fret it too much, because you know what? They're going to be out there They will be available at some point, and maybe at some point as well they'll go down in price too. So whether you get one today, tomorrow, Xbox One X is going to be a beast of a machine for a long time to come. And I just wanted to end off with a little bit of no chills. I made up a little verse of a rap. You want to hear it? Because here it goes.
Oh my God.
All right, here, you ready?
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
everybody,
go
we're about to get X-rated, and I'm so damn excited that I just masturbated. It's a beast of a machine. It's like a giant T-Rex. So get out your wallets and buy an Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don DeMarco.
All right, guys. Noof didn't give a fuck. You got to give him that at least. So hit that like button for Noof.
I think he holds a trophy for having the best freestyle.
What you been up to, Megan?
Man, not nothing, man. Just getting my mind blown by Noof just doing white people things. No, man. I appreciate you having me on, man. Hey, some of you bastards out here that's listening, man, damn close to what was it, 900 people come and bring y'all's asses over to the GRG podcast every Friday night after.
Oh, okay, that's enough. Cut this motherfucker's mic. Look at him.
No, do that. But anyway, now for real, thank you guys for having me on, man. And man, I'm just excited. I have no damn clue why the XSplit broadcaster thing is there, but whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Actually, Dealer has a fraud detector built in his web browser.
Hey, we do want to thank you and New for stopping by. We appreciate it, and even more so to even the 600 still here, guys. Thanks, you're the cream of the crop. Once again, if you want to be eligible for monthly game giveaways and some other stuff, we're doing a stream, the patron stream. I'm gonna try that this Friday. More information on the website. There's a link in the description. Let me know what you guys think, and we are out. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.